Now the man Adam knew Eve as his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Cain. And she said, I have obtained a man, baby boy, son, with the help of the Lord. Second, and she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel kept the flocks, but Cain cultivated the ground. 3, and in the course of time Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. For what Abel brought the firstborn of his flock and the fat portions, and the Lord had regard for Abel and for his offering. 5, but for Cain and his offering he had no respect. So Cain became extremely angry, indignant, and he looked annoyed and hostile. 6, and the Lord said to Cain, Why are you so angry, and why do you look annoyed? 7, if you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin crouches at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. 8, Cain talked with Abel his brother, and when they were in the field, Cain attacked Abel his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, Where is Abel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? The Lord said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you cultivate the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength for you. You shall be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth. Cain said to the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the land, and from your face I will be hidden. I will be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. And the Lord said to him, Therefore, whoever kills Cain, a sevenfold vengeance shall be taken on him. And the Lord set a mark on Cain, so that no one who found him would kill him. 16, so Cain went away from the presence of the Lord, and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. 7 knew his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Enoch. And Cain built a city, and named it Enoch, after the name of his son. Now to Enoch was born Irad, and Irad became the father of Mehujael, and Mehujael became the father of Methushael, and Methushael became the father of Lamech. 19, and Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other, Zillah. 20, Adah gave birth to Jabal. He became the father of those who live in tents and have cattle and raise livestock. 21, his brother's name was Jubal. He became the father of all those who play the lyre and flute. 22, Zillah gave birth to Tubal-Cain, the smith, craftsman, and teacher of every artisan in instruments of bronze and iron. The sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. 23, Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice. You wives of Lamech, listen to what I say. For I have killed a man for wounding me, and a boy for striking me. 24, if Cain is avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77-fold. Adam knew his wife again, and she gave birth to a son, and named him Seth. For God has granted another child for me in place of Abel, because Cain killed him. 26, to Seth also, a son was born, whom he named Enosh, mortal man, mankind. At that time men began to call on the name of the Lord. Genesis 4, exposition, history, and teachings. 1, exposition, summary and breakdown. Verses 1 to 2, the birth of Cain and Abel. Adam and Eve have 2 sons, Cain the firstborn, a farmer, Abel a shepherd. Verses 3-5, offerings to God. Both bring offerings to God. Abel brings the best, fat portions from his flock. Cain brings some produce from the ground. God accepts Abel's offering, but rejects Cain's, not because of the type, but likely because of the heart. See Hebrews 11:4. Verses 6-7, God warns Cain. God gently corrects Cain, saying, If you do well, will you not be accepted? Sin is described as crouching at your door, like a wild animal, but you must master it. Verse 8, the first murder. Cain lures Abel into the field and kills him in jealousy and anger. Verses 9-12, God's judgment. God asks, Where is your brother? Cain lies, Am I my brother's keeper? God curses Cain. The ground will no longer yield crops for him. He will become a restless wanderer. Verses 13-16, mercy and exile. Cain fears being killed. God places a protective mark on Cain. Even in judgment, God shows mercy. Cain moves to the land of Nod, east of Eden. Verses 17-26, the line of Cain and Seth. Cain builds a city. His descendants become founders of civilization. Tent making, music, metalwork. Violence increases. Lamech kills a man. Meanwhile, Adam and Eve have another son, Seth, through whom a godly line continues. People begin to call on the name of the Lord, v. 26. Teachings and themes from Genesis 4. 1. True worship must come from the heart. The Lord looked with favor on Abel. God desires faith and sincerity, not empty ritual. Hebrews 11:4. By faith, Abel offered a better sacrifice. 2. Sin must be confronted. Sin is crouching at your door. Sin is like a predator. It grows if ignored. God calls us to master it, not give in to it. 3. Jealousy and anger lead to destruction. Cain's jealousy of his brother led to murder. Warning, envy poisons relationships and dishonors God. 4. God judges, but also protects. Cain is punished but not destroyed. God places a mark on him as protection, showing divine mercy even after grave sin. 5. We are our brother's keeper. Cain's sarcastic question is the opposite of God's command. Genesis teaches social responsibility. We are meant to care for others, not harm them. 6. Human civilization and morality. Cain's line develops art, tools, and cities, but also violence and vengeance. See Lamech. Civilization without God leads to chaos, but Seth's line begins to seek the Lord, a sign of hope and revival.